Good morning to you all. Good morning, this is Dr. Mike from Wigan Family Chiropractic Hospital. And this video goes straight out to Sandra. Sandra, you know who you are. You got in touch with us recently, so we thought we'd make a public video, especially for you. So, what I would like to start off by showing you is that if you've got a neck problem, it affects your balance, okay? And here's a really simple way to do it. If you put your head like this, right? Try walking in a straight line with your head cocked towards the side. Try walking in a straight line without bumping into things with your head like this. So here's the first takeaway from this little video we're making, especially for Sandra. Your neck and how well your neck functions affects your balance. It can affect whether or not you get dizziness, and it can affect whether or not you have falls. And here's why. There are millions upon millions upon millions of nerve endings in your neck, okay? When you move your head, of course, you mostly move your neck to move your head, okay? So your brain is very sensitive to what the nerves in your neck are doing, because your brain is listening to the nerves in your neck to decide where to position you, okay? So if you've got a neck problem, all those millions upon billions of little nerves that are going into the neck, all of a sudden, because of the neck problem, like I just showed you a minute ago, they don't send the right signals to the brain. Once the neck, once the muscles, once the facet joints, once the discs, once the ligaments, once the billions of nerve endings in the neck, due to a neck problem, don't communicate properly with the brain doesn't know where to put the body. And that's a key point. So neck problems then start to show up as poor balance. They can start to show up as dizziness. Quick aside, if you've ever met anybody who's been in a car accident, even if it's a relatively minor one, Tony, good morning, even if it's been a relatively minor one, a lot of times people will say, yeah, I might not have much neck pain, but I have got dizziness, I have got vertigo. And that is a sign of a problem with your central nervous system as much as it is a sign of a problem with your actual neck. Now, when we talk about our elderly patients, we see a lot of people over 70, we see a lot of people over 80 and 90. Having a neck that works properly is bloody critical. Here's the reason why. Because in an elderly person, one of the big causes of falls is having a neck that isn't working properly. So we see people all the time where they will come to us and they've been told, I've got spondylosis, I've got arthritis, I've got degeneration, I've got trapped nerves, it's all going on in my neck. But I'm not worried about the pain. I watch them walk into the place and they're walking like this. I can't probably do it on here. They're shuffling along, and I'm thinking, any kind of a challenge to that person's balance, like if there's not as much daylight as we go into the winter, if somebody moves something in the normal environment, any challenge to somebody's balance who's elderly and shuffling along is going to knock them over. And here's the horrible thing. We're going right now from necks to balance to falls. But when people have falls, when they get to being 70 and 80, that often breaks people's hips. And when people's hips get broken, they often end up in hospital and they often die of other complications. So one of the reasons why I'm that into what I do is when somebody who's 60 or 70 or 80 comes to me with a bit of dizziness or a bit of neck pain, I'm thinking to myself, if we help that person's neck work better, they're a lot less likely to fall over and break a hip and end up in hospital and not be here this time next year. So it's worth thinking about, when you speak to your relatives, especially your more senior relatives, grandparents, parents, and people say, oh, it's a bit of an ache or pain. If you can catch somebody and help them get the right chiropractic help while it's a bit of an ache or pain, it can save them having a fall and not being around 5 or 10 years later. And I think that's a bloody big thing, and that is exactly the kind of thing that gets me out of bed and into Wigan Family Chiropractic Hospital all the days that I'm here. So Sandra, thank you for your query that you gave us on Facebook asking about chiropractic and balance and dizziness. I really appreciate it because it's helped me make, I think, a nice little informative video, and I'm hoping it reaches the people who need it. I'm hoping it reaches the people who, it strikes a chord with them and they start seeing that link between neck problems and correction of neck problems, helping things like balance, helping things like fall prevention. It's really big. Everybody watching, thank you for joining in. It's lovely to have you on the video. Have an amazing Friday. Keep looking after yourselves, and we're here for you. Bye for now.